Hello, sorry, I think there was a kind of network issue. Um, I was trying to talk about what are those things that you need to take note of in order to make your school business progress, in order for it to be more profitable to you. Now, I've spoken about distractions, spoken about feedback, that you should welcome feedback. Also, what's the relationship between you and your staff? Relationship between you and your staff. Hello, stop that. So, relationship between you and your staff is also key in the school business. If you really want to progress, you have to establish a good working relationship between you and your staff. Now, if you take a look at those schools that actually progresses, look at the relationship between the staff and the school owners. Now, you don't need to be too strict. Some school owners are they are too strict. Their staff, I've had a lot of experience. I've worked with a lot of schools, so I know how it is. And comparing the two, because I have schools that have their heads has been friendly. I also have some. I've also experienced some that their heads are somehow strict. It's not a bad idea for you to be strict. Do you understand? But at least create some room, create some time for a good working relationship between you and your staff. You don't have to be too strict because they are not babies. You have to be friendly. When you are friendly with people, they'll be able to pass some information to you. But when you are not friendly with them, there's some information that could be vital to you. They'll hold on to that information, and that information might just be one or two things that will help you in your school business. So in running a school business, try as much as possible to be a little bit lenient with your staff. Now, I've said it, that being lenient doesn't mean that you should just take rubbish. Being lenient doesn't mean that you should allow them to just sit without doing anything. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that in the school business, you need to allow your staff to have access to you. Let them have access to you. Be friendly to them. Let the working relationship be cordial. Let it be okay. Don't be too strict on them. Now, another thing that could also make you progress or break even in this business is your creativity. A lot of school owners are not creative enough, and these are the things that you just need to take note of. Creativity is the most important thing in this business. Now, we have a lot of schools. Look at all schools around. The major objective of setting them up is to impart knowledge. So if we have school A, school B, school C, if their major objective is to impart knowledge, then why would I choose to take my child to school A in place of school B? Or why would I choose to take my child to school C in place of school A and B? Now, the answer to that question is very simple. Is about your creativity. When I say creativity, you just have to be creative. Be creative enough. Teaching methodology has really changed. It has gone beyond the old ways of teaching. We have different teaching methodologies. So employ and introduce different ideas. Don't just be rigid. Don't stay in one position. Always think ahead. Let that positivity be in you. Always be positive in whatever thing you do, and you will break even. Try to distinguish yourself from other schools. If you think that, oh, this is the general thing that everybody is doing, why not think of a new idea to distinguish yourself? Is that new idea that you introduce that will bring more learners or attract more parents to your school? Now, then there's also issue of some school owners that always believe they know it all. You understand? You just have to be open. Be open to your staff. Be open to people that have great ideas. Don't think you know it all. You probably, if you look at your own experience, probably you must have, maybe you have worked with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 schools. Working with 4, 5, 7 schools is not enough to give you all the required knowledge that is needed. So that's why you need to be open. Don't just believe that, oh, you know it all. So get some ideas from people. Move along with people with great ideas, great minds. Those that think positively. You understand? Just go with them. Now, another thing that you also need to take notice for you to break even in the business is that you have to be focused. What do I mean by being focused? A lot of school owners are distracted. They are not focused. You have your own vision, you have your own mission. Why not pursue that vision? Why not ensure that, okay, this is what your school will be in the nearest future? Let me tell you something. Let me just be factual with you. There's a lot of, some of you see those big schools and you say, oh, look at this big school. Wow, these people have really tried to. They put a lot of resources in place before that school can get to that level. Now, when I'm talking about resources, I'm not trying to tell you that you should go to bank and get loans and build a big structure. A lot of people made a lot of mistakes in setting up a business. Some of them go as far as getting a loan to build a gigantic structure just because they want to establish a school. Now, that is a wrong idea. I'm telling you, it's just a matter of time. If you get, probably you have like $1 billion naira, then you invested it in the school business. I'm telling you, it's just a matter of time, though. You might not break even in the business. It has to do with stages. You have to climb the ladder. If you have the whole structure and you introduce everything, all the facilities are there, and your creativity, your idea is limited to that level because you have put a lot of resources into it. Probably you've got a loan from a bank, and of which you need to pay it back in probably 5, 6, 7 years time. Now, whatever thing that comes in, you want to budget it towards the repayment. There's going to be a lot of ideas that you will turn down, and those ideas might just be the ideas that will take your school to the next level. But because you have ignored it, it's not as if you intentionally ignore it, but you ignore it simply because you have gotten a loan of which you need to repay. So you are working towards that loan. That's why it's not really advisable to just get a loan to start up this business. I'm not saying you should not get a loan. You can get a loan, but let the loan be moderate. Let it be considerable. it's not as if you want to get a loan now. You just go ahead, get one huge amount of money and start building structure. Structure is not the major thing. If you build the structure, get in all the facilities needed. Now, with those facilities, I'm telling you, at that point in time, at the start of time, the facility will attract some parents. And attracting some parents, some of them might just say, oh, let's just even have a look at what this school has. Oh, with this structure, I think they should be able to deliver. Oh, with this, they should be able to deliver. Now, when you have that, as if that's I'm talking about the mindset of parents now. That's their mindset. Those that want to really move to new school, oh, they see a new school, oh, this is a very fine building, I think they will have a lot to deliver. And at the end of the day, if they now discover that, oh, they are paying, probably where their kids are coming from, they were paying like, let me just put it for instance, they were paying like maybe 500,000, and this school is a $1 million school. Now, they expected a lot of things from a $1 million school. But at the end of the first term, second term, probably in a session, they assess the school. They find out that, oh, this school, this amount they are paying, they don't really get much value compared to what they have been paying in the school that charges 500,000. Now, the next thing is that you see a lot of some of the parents pull out their children. And what will happen to the school? And what will happen to the loans that the schools have, the proprietor of the school have gotten? The proprietor needs to repay those loans. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that you don't need to, the most important thing is that you just have to be focused, be determined, and you don't need to just ensure that you start from somewhere. If you are starting from somewhere and you know where you are going, then there's a lot of gain for you. Though I expected this live class to be an interactive session where people can call in, but in the absence of that, let me just go on with some other things. Now, we also have this issue of how does private schools source for their income. Now, today I'm going to talk about, we have different ways of generating income for the school. The basic objective for a school to be successful, for you to be able to run a private firm or an institution or a school, definitely you need funding. And in the private school business, the major source of income is the area of school fees. And that thing has just been a major issue affecting a lot of schools. Now, also we have loans too. There's grants, there's donation. But I'm going to talk about the school fees, which is a major source of income. The other aspect, I'm going to talk about them later on. Now, the tuition fee or the school fees. This is a major source of income. Through this school fees, the school will be able to pay staff. Through the school fees, the school will be able to do some maintenance. Through the school fees, the school will be able to put a lot of things in place. Now, and some of the challenges being faced by this private institution is that the issue of school fees. And what I also note about the society is that a lot of people put their children or put their world into schools that they can't really afford. So some of them just feel like, oh, let me take my child to school A so that my friends will know that, okay, my child is in school A. A lot of people do not put their children in the school that they can really afford. That's why the issue of school fees has become a big problem in the society. And if you also look at it also, some of them at the end of the day, the business is highly competitive. We have a lot of schools coming up, and parents have discovered the loopholes. They notice that, by the time my child, maybe I'm having some kind of outstanding, and I notice that, my child needs to, this outstanding is much, there's no way I can afford to settle the bill. Then the next thing the parent will do is just to source for the next school around and just change the child's school. Most students that leave a school are not leaving because of change of location. Mostly because they just find an excuse, but the major thing is that they're just trying to see how they can boycott the outstanding that they have. Now, how do you now cope with this? Without this tuition fee, without students paying school fees, there's no way you can run the business. Each and every one of us, even the parents, they do as in the work, and at the end of the day they are expected to be paid in their workplace. Some of them run business and they are also expected to have profit. So the same thing with private school business. Private school also, they also need profit. They also want to make profit in their business, and for them to make profit in this business, students must be ready to pay school fees. Parents must be ready to pay school fees. So let's see how you can cope with this idea. Now, there's a lot of ideas around, but let me tell you, based on my experience and based on my knowledge, I have a vast knowledge when it comes to running of schools. Just take it like that. There's no state in this country that I've not visited. So you can call me a workaholic. I've visited a lot of states. So, and a lot of people know me, those in the south, southeast, the north, northwest, northeast, north central, southwest. Everybody, at least quite a large number of school owners know me. Now, let me now tell you about the most important thing. You have, as a school, you need to have a good payment policy. A good payment policy. The payment policy must be friendly depending on the environment you find yourself. You cannot use the school fees policy of community A to determine your own. Look at your own environment. Look at the people you are dealing with. Are they predominantly traders? Are they government workers? So there's in every community you are, there's always a peculiarity. So take a look at the parents you have. Those parents, ensure that the parents you are dealing with, you know them, know their capability. Get a form for your school, a policy form. Don't be in haste to say, okay, because you needed you needed more students, then you just admit anyhow parent. See, it is better to have 10 learners that pay up school fees than having 100 learners. Out of the 100 learners, 90 are not paying school fees. If 90 of your learners are not paying school fees, your business will run at loss. There's no way you can survive the business. There's no way you can survive this business. Once your learners you have categories of parents that are not paying school fees, there's no way you can survive, because the major thing is the school fees. The major source of income for you as a school is the school fees. So you have to take note of that. And you find out that even if you have like that 100 learners, meanwhile 90 are not paying school fees, your staff will not understand that with you. Your staff will not understand that. They will not, there is no way you can convince them that, oh, this social children have not paid school fees. There's no way you can convince people around. So it's better you have that 10, stick with that 10, then with that 10 progress. Once you plan your budget based on that 10, you'll be able to adjust so many things. Your staff will also be happy with you. You understand? So what I'm trying to say in essence is that it is not by the number of students that you have. Just make sure you have the quality parents. You know the kind of parents you deal with. Now, you get a good policy for yourself. It's good school fees policy. When you admit a child, there's nothing wrong with you knowing the parents. There's nothing wrong. Try to know the parents, know where they work, know what they do. Let them tell you the modalities of their payment, how they will be able to pay those fees. Imagine a parent that is a salary earner, a parent that is a salary earner with maybe 3-4 children in your school. Now, if you look at it, multiply your school fees, multiply it by the total number of kids he or she has in your school. Then when you have that multiplication, once you have that figure, divide it equally by 4. Just divide it equally, divide it by 4, and ask him, can you afford this particular fee in a month? No, let's just put it that way. I'm not saying you should allow them 4 months before they complete your school fees. But if that is the case, that's why I said depending on the kind of parents you are dealing with. If you still believe that by the end of the 3rd month, if they are able to pay, it will not affect your school business, you can give them, you can allow them to do that. But have a good payment policy. Have a good payment policy. There are some that might just want to pay before. If your policy is at the beginning of each term, the first thing is that probably let them pay, let them come with, if they cannot come with a teller of probably 100% payment, let them come with at least 60%. Let them come with 60%, let them come with 50%, let them come with 40%. If it is 40, if the 40% will be okay for you, I'm not trying to tell you that you should just go with 40, because I'm dealing with a lot of people here. So dealing with different kind of people within different kind of society also. So if you believe that payment of 40% will go a long way, then you can allow 40%. And if in some schools, despite the fact that the school fees is high, there is always come with your teller on the first day of resumption. So there's nothing like, oh, so parent is owing after, or there's nothing like fee drive. There's nothing like that, because at the beginning of each term, you must come with, they expect every parent to settle their bill, the current bill during the holiday. So when you are coming on the first day, you are coming with the teller. But it might not be peculiar to all sets of people, because we know we have some that are just trader, we have some that are government workers, and they need to adjust some things, because everybody knows the economic situation of the country. But that also, you also have to, the parent also need to put you also into consideration that, oh, this is a business and the business must not die. Now, so what I'm trying to say in essence is that we have a good policy. That policy, relate that policy with every of your parents. Let the parent, if your policy is 40% before resumption or on the first day of resumption, at least 40%, then the 60%, let it be, it might be maybe the first month, then they should be able to settle some percentage. Then maybe the second month, or probably when the school is resuming for the midterm, then they should be able to settle the bills. If you can do this, there's going to be a lot of adjustment. So everybody will be able to take their children to where it is, where they can afford. Affordability is the most important thing. You don't need to, as a parent, you don't need to, what you cannot afford, you don't need to just go into it. There's a lot of schools that you can afford. Meanwhile, there's also a lot that you as a person, you know it within yourself that you cannot afford the school. But a lot of parents wants to show themselves that, oh, my child is in so-so school, oh, my child is in so-so school. And at the end of the day, when they notice that the debt has been accumulated, they take away their children. And if those parents that take away their children, there's one thing that is common about them. If you're able to get some information from them, or probably you have one of your staff who is closer to them, or one parent that is also closer to them, if you ask them, one of the major excuses they give is that they just look for one silly excuse. Oh, they might just say, oh, that school, they don't even know how to teach. Oh, the proprietress is not friendly at all. Oh, the teachers, I don't even like them. They don't even know how to welcome children. They don't understand the updated teaching methodology. They will just give series of excuses just to give excuse that, oh, this is why they are leaving your school. So that's why you as a school owner, you just need to stand on your feet. Just know the kind of parents you are dealing with, know the kind of pupils you are dealing with, and relate that with your staff. Let your staff know that, oh, this is our policy, and with that policy, then your school can move forward. So that is it for the payment. There's still a lot more, but there's no way we can finish up everything today. But I'm also expecting some people to call in if you have issues, because we have a lot of issues being faced by schools. Let me give you this WhatsApp number to call in 081, just a WhatsApp call only, 081 78191925. So call this WhatsApp line. Let's see if there's anything that you want us to talk about. But generally, in your school business, just know that you are going to progress. It's a very good business. It is a lucrative business. It's a profitable business. So that one is sure, but it depends on how you see it. And another thing that you also need to know in school business is that location is never a problem. I could remember vividly let me be specific now. I could remember vividly there was a school I worked with some years back, and the staff, I do tell them, I said, come, the location of a school doesn't really matter. How they say, oh, forget, in this particular area, if you bring that kind of school, no child will come to that school. I was like, oh, well, I don't have to argue with you. I can't argue with them. So I just relaxed. But after some years, those that really understand business got ideas from places like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. They got ideas and they brought in those ideas. I want to tell you that schools that came up that period, they had a lot of new intake. You know, you are starting up a school. You are starting up a school with close to 300 learners. I'm talking about close to 300 learners, and the school fees is even higher than the current, how will I put it, the most expensive school in the state. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? What I'm saying is that you have, okay, in this particular state, you have so school to be the best school or probably the most expensive school in that state. Now, a new school now came up with a higher tuition fee, and with that higher tuition fee, they still record a larger number of intake when they kickstart the school. I'm not saying their population is up to those other schools, but what I'm saying is that, what I'm trying to let you know is that the location does not really matter. If you look at some of those big schools that we have, in those communities they reside, those communities are not actually the best. They are not big cities. If you look at it, there are some schools that we have around that even some schools in the big cities, their tuition fee is not up to that. So I have a lot of them. So I don't want to be specific. I don't want to market any school here. But what I'm just trying to let you know is that in school business, there's a lot of things that you need to take note. A lot of things need to be put into consideration if actually you want to make progress. You want to break even in the business. Is a very good business, but it depends on your input. It depends on your idea. It depends on how you see things. If you see things well, then you are going to make a lot of profit. But if you don't see things the way it's supposed to be, then you will just remain in one position. I want to tell you that if actually you are with me, then there's no way you will not break even in the business. There's no way, because I am very optimistic and I'm very determined when it comes to things that is good. I'm always determined and I'm focused. So in the business, you need to be creative. You need to be creative. That one is very important for you. You need to be creative. Creativity is the most important thing, and also welcome new ideas. Welcome new ideas. When you see a new idea, welcome them. There was a time we had some, like us. I'm actually working with an IT firm. I know some of you are already aware of it, the School Admin Plus. When we introduced School Admin Plus to some schools those days, and some believe that, oh, this thing is not going to work. At least if you are starting up a thing, definitely you must start from somewhere. Now, a lot believe that it's not going to work, and this is a product that has been in existence for more than 10 years now. So you can see that it actually works. So it depends on, so that is an example of determination. When you are determined, you don't allow people to distract you. You take your proposal, you take your content to people, and they turn you down. Forget. That is not the end of it. Just ensure that you are focused, you are determined, you know where you are going to. So in this business also, you just have to be determined, you just have to be focused. Don't be distracted. That is one key thing. be focused. When you see, if you are starting up a business, a lot of people made a lot of mistakes when it comes to school business. A lot of people, there's a lot of mistakes people make. Generally in business, a lot of people believe that when you start up a business, you are expected to just break even immediately. No, business is not like that. You still have to put a lot of input. The profit and whatever resources you get from that business, you still have to still put it back into the business. Try to put so many things in place. Look at those things that are lacking in your school. Look at them. Oh, I need so thing. Oh, this chalkboard is outdated. Let me, by next time, let me try as much as possible to replace this to replace the board. Oh, this building is not that attractive. Oh, let me just try to source for fund and get it painted, design it, put the latest design there, at least based on your pocket. I'm not saying that you just go for a paint of 1 million naira when you are running a low income school. Just try as much as possible to make sure that things are okay. And also, some of you, your staff, you need to really work on your staff. You need to really work on your staff. You really need to work on your staff. That one is also very important. Work on your staff. You see, if you go to some school, the way the staff package themselves, that alone will attract parents to the school. See, the way they welcome visitors, the way they welcome parents. But meanwhile, if you go to some other school, they just treat them anyhow, treat them as shit, treat them as unimportant. But when you treat them well, you have a good, you are friendly, as in your teachers are friendly, the way they approach people, the way they approach parents. If it is friendly enough, that alone will attract a lot of parents into your school. That alone will attract. So the physical structure is also one good thing. You also look at, there are so many things that you need to take note of depending on your environment. I'm just talking in general. So pick out those things that you think, oh, this thing should be good enough for my environment, in my environment. Now, I want to talk about something also. You look at your uniform. Your uniform is also very important. Your uniform attracts. A lot of parents take a look at uniform before they take their children to school. I'm speaking as a parent now. There's a lot of things that determines parent referrals. There's a lot of things that attract parents to schools. Uniform is also one of it. Some, if you look at the color, their color combination is not attractive at all. It's so dull. Get a good uniform for your learners. Get a good uniform. There's nothing wrong with you going for quality material. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Let people see your uniform and let it be okay. Don't just give your uniform to anyhow tailors. Give your uniform to somebody that you know that, okay, this person is good. I'm telling you, it's not by the number of students that you have. Start dealing with quality parents. Start dealing with quality parents. By the time you have your own standard, that standard will attract a lot of parents to your school. It's that standard you operate with that will attract parents to your school. It's not all about those things that you put in place. Though the physical things you put in place is, at the same time, you need to make sure that you are just focused, you are determined in your school business. Now, we also look at, I'm trying to look at some of the challenges being faced. Maybe in our next session, we are going to improve on it and see how people can call in so that we have things to talk about. But there's a lot of things that we still need to talk about in this business, and I'm always ready to unravel all the mystery behind it. If you are following me, definitely just know that you will not have any issue as regards running your school. You will not have any issue. There's a lot of ideas that I'm going to give out, a lot of ideas. I've worked with many schools. I've worked with many schools, different locations, different cities, different states. So I know and I understand. When I talk about peculiarity, when I talk about environment, I understand everything. So, but one good thing that you just have to know is that just be open. Just be open. When you are open, then there's no problem. So that's the most important thing. When you are open, then there's no problem. So now, so we have talked about those things that, so I can tell you now that school business is more profitable depending on how you are able to manage it. So just be open. Be open. That's the most important thing. I don't want to take much of our time. I think this the live class is scheduled for 1 hour. I think 1 hour is okay for the program. So I'm going to take the class to an end. So if you have questions that you think we need to talk about, you can just let me know. There's comment section. You can let me see your question so that we can talk about it. It's very important. The business you must, it is under must. You must succeed in the business. So just take note of that. You must succeed. You must make it. It's a very cool business, so you must succeed. And dealing with me, having come in contact with me, then just have to be optimistic. You have to be optimistic just so that, oh, you are going to make it. There's a lot of distraction in the business, but just be focused. When you are focused, then every other thing remain easy for you. So thank you for listening. For those online, I want to say a very big thank you. For those who join us live, I want to say a very big thank you. Say a very big thank you. I say a very big thank you to each and every one of you. So if you have any question, you can. If you have any question, feel free to ask your question. You can type it in the comment section. Type your question in the comment section. You can also call. Just WhatsApp call 081 078 1925. You can just WhatsApp call 08178191925. So you can call. This is a WhatsApp call. So if you have any question, so let's see. Because there's a lot of things bothering the mind of school owners. Amen, amen. Tinu, thank you for encouraging me. Thank you. God bless you. And I pray that God will prosper you. Your school business, you are going to break even. Just be determined. Just know that there's going to be a lot of changes. By this coming new session, there's going to be a lot of improvement in your school business. There's going to be a lot of improvement. I know this third term, you use this third term to reshape a lot of things. A lot of things. There are so many ideas I'm going to dish out through my experience. I've had a lot of experience. I've worked with a lot of school heads, a lot of proprietors. I've worked with a lot of principal, HM, so I have a lot of ideas when it comes to school business. So feel free, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues affecting the smooth running of school business. And those are some of the things that I want to provide solutions to, so that in your school business, you'll be able to excel. There's a lot of things. So, but the most important thing is that you need to open up your heart. Be creative. Open up, because I cannot do it for you. You will still be the one to do it. But once you are creative, once you are open, then just be rest assured that it's just a matter of time. You are going to experience a lot of turnaround in your school business. You see, a lot of in school business, do you see a lot of, when you are progressing, don't be surprised. Some might even think you have gone probably fetish, or probably you are using jazz or some other things. Is your idea. Is your idea. There was a time I don't want to mention the name of the school. There was a time we took our products to school, then we try as much as possible to see how we can get other schools around. And you see, the response from those we meet, as in those other schools, the response is like, you mean is that particular school that invited you here? You say, yes, it's the school. Really? Wow. The school, they just started not quite long. This school, they just started not quite long. I'm telling you, the school used a lot of resources to put in place so many things. It's not about our product alone. They use many resources to put in place so many things. And those things that the school owner put in place really change a lot in the school. Really change a lot in the school. I mean, why you see some people, they are just rigid. I'm telling you, a lot of people, some school owners are just rigid. And some of them also, they might just think, I'm not condemning the principals, I'm not condemning HM, I'm not condemning different school heads, but to be sincere with you, we have some HM that are very good, they are excellent. We have some principals that are excellent. We have some admin that are excellent. But also, you also have to bear this in mind, that the same way we have those excellent HM, excellent principals, excellent admin, that is the same way we have some others that are just ready to pull down your school. They are ready to pull down your school. they are ready to pull down your school. You might be thinking they are doing you well. My friend, they are not doing you well. They have their own hidden agenda. I'm not saying you should doubt your HM. No, I'm not saying you should doubt your principal. I'm not saying you should doubt your admin. But what I'm trying to let you know is that there are some that are good. There are also some that are bad. I've experienced a lot, I know. So when I'm talking to you, I'm talking from experience. I know a lot of them block so many things that will benefit your school. A lot of them, they block it. They don't allow those things to get to you. And some of you too, because you are just rigid, you don't want to, you are not that exposed, you don't want to buy any ideas. So once they tell you that, oh, that thing is rubbish, you just say, okay, it's true, it's rubbish. You understand? So before it's too late, just try as much as possible to see how you can adjust some things in your school. So I think let's put this live class to an end since we don't have any questions to talk about. So I'm going to announce the next day for the I'm going to announce the next day for the class, for the show. So thank you and God bless you. Once again, I'm Okebinu Oluwasegun. That's my name. Thank you. Bye-bye.